I'm going to go to page 102, first paragraph to the end of page 103. It talks about Ruby Ridge. You guys can look that up if you're interested, but you have to know about Ruby Ridge. Please look into Ruby Ridge. If you're American especially, it's a very important historical event, an atrocity committed from the FBI on American citizens. And you'll get an idea here. This is a very short explanation. So, page 102, first paragraph. So he's using examples of what authority figures do and how they get away with it. So like an example would be, a man sells a shotgun with a barrel 1/4 of an inch shorter than the law allows. The weapon is no more lethal than a shotgun 1/4 of an inch longer, and no one who was involved threatened or used violence against anyone. But the man, having been caught with the illegal item, is subjected to a paramilitary invasion of his property, followed by an armed standoff in which several people are killed. And this did happen. I have a book about Ruby Ridge. I read about it. It's horrible what happened. It's unbelievable that nobody even talks about Ruby Ridge. Even Waco, you hear how they talk about Waco officially, and then you hear about what actually happened. It's unbelievable that nobody talks about these events. Unfortunately, this example is not hypothetical. It happened to Randy Weaver at Ruby Ridge in 1992, and he was not merely caught selling an illegal shotgun. He was enticed into doing so by undercover law enforcers. The result of the armed invasion of the Weaver's property and the subsequent shootout and siege was that Mr. Weaver's wife and son were killed, and he and a friend were wounded. Though it would be absurd for anyone to claim that there is a moral difference between possessing a shotgun with an 18-inch barrel and possessing a shotgun with a 17 3/4-inch barrel, and even though that allegation was the entire legal justification for the armed assault and confrontation, many spectators would still fault Randy Weaver, viewing him, Randy Weaver, as the bad guy for having allowed himself to be coaxed into breaking an arbitrary, completely irrational, not to mention unconstitutional law. That is the power of the belief in authority. It can lead many people to view a gang of sadistic, murderous thugs as the good guys, and to view their victims as the bad guys. And more on Ruby Ridge. If I recall, I have read the book about 3-4 years ago, and I might be recalling this incorrectly, so correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But there was an FBI sniper, an Asian man, and he had the mother, the wife, Randy Weaver's wife, in his sights. And the FBI man, he shot her with the sniper rifle, but the wife was shot dead. I think he shot her in the heart. Now the son, Randy Weaver's son, they also had a dog. I think the dog ran out of the house and the son ran after the dog. I think they killed the dog, and then they ended up killing his son. Now Randy also had a friend that was on the ranch with him. I don't recall if the friend got killed. I don't remember what happened there. But I think the book that I read about was written by a lawyer named Jerry Spencer, or Jerry Spence. It was a long time ago. I'll look in my closet and I'll find what book it was. I think it was Freedom something. And I'll put the cover up on the video and you guys could see it for reference, so you know I'm not just talking out of my ass. Alright, so let me go back to this. To most people, breaking the law without specifying which law has an automatic negative connotation. They view disobedience to authority not merely as dangerous, but as immoral. But to the government believer, something even worse than committing a minor, victimless crime is openly disobeying an agent of authority. The average spectator, when observing the interaction between an authority figure and anyone else, will often view with disdain anyone who does not immediately and unquestioningly answer any questions and comply with any requests from a man with a badge. Even if the person complies but exhibits an attitude towards the authority figure, any attitude other than meek subservience, many spectators will be quick to condemn the one who fails to grovel. And one who runs away from the police, even if he had done nothing wrong in the first place, is viewed with scorn by most. And when someone who runs or hides or refuses to cooperate is beaten up, tortured, or even murdered by law enforcers, many spectators opine that the victim should have done what the police told him to do. And when someone actively resists an authority figure, few have the gumption to take that person's side under any circumstances, even with mere words. Just as well, a well-trained dog will not bite its master, even when sadistically maltreated, so those who have been trained to bow to authority are usually psychologically incapable of bringing themselves to lift a finger to defend themselves, much less someone else, from any aggression committed in the name of law and government and authority. Indeed, due to their authoritarian indoctrination, most people would more eagerly condemn their fellow victims than join together with their fellow victims to actually resist tyranny. There is, of course, a difference between saying that it is not smart for someone to do something and saying that it is immoral to do something. It is one thing to say that it is stupid for someone to mouth off to a cop, and another to say that doing so is actually immoral and that one who does so therefore deserves whatever abuse or punishment he receives. The believers in authority often express the latter opinion about anyone who defies the police, regardless of the reason. The idea of average people imposing justice upon wayward law enforcers existentially terrifies statists, even when a law enforcer has done something as serious as committing murder. In the eyes of the well-indoctrinated, the only civilized course of action in such situation is to beg some other authority to make things right, but never to take the law into one's own hands. People may complain about and condemn legal injustice, but few are even able to consider the possibility of engaging in premeditated, illegal resistance, even when agents of government are inflicting vicious brutality upon unarmed, nonviolent targets. And if, through prolonged brainwashing, a people can be rendered psychologically unable to resist the oppressions done in the name of authority, then it makes no difference whether those people have the physical means to resist. Modern tyrants and their enforcers are always outnumbered and often outgunned by their victims by a factor of hundreds or thousands. Yet, tyrants still remain in power, not because people lack the physical ability to resist, but because as a result of their deeply inculcated belief in authority, they lack the mental ability to resist. As Stephen Biko put it, quote, "The most potent weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed."